Well, this is my fourth World Congress of Families, and I'm very pleased to moderate this high-powered panel on marriage, economics, and poverty. Our panelists have degrees in psychology, social policy, sociology, and family studies. I, as you just heard, am an economist. Though George Stigler of the University of Chicago called economics the imperial science, it began, in fact, and will always be merely a colony of moral philosophy, of ethics. We've heard a lot about the opposition between faith and reason, but in fact, the choice is always faith and reason. Faith and reason are the two strands of the DNA of the pro-family movement. To lay my own cards on the table, I oppose counsels of despair. Those who fear that marriage is going irretrievably to hell in a handbasket, I would caution against the Wisiati fallacy, that what you see is all there is, Wisiati. For example, illegitimacy has risen from less than 4% in 1940 to more than 40% of all American births. Yet, this is only a snippet of the available data. Data back to colonial times show that American marriage went to hell in a handbasket several times. Pre- or extramarital conceptions were almost 1/4 in 1900, the same level they had reached in 1986, and they were nearly 1/3 in 1776 when our country was founded. Now, I don't claim that another great awakening, like the one I was blessed to be born in, is inevitable, but what I do claim is that the handbasket is not inevitable. In an earlier concurrent panel on the cost of family breakdown, I extended the analysis in my book, Redeeming Economics, to argue that legal abortion is the main cause of family breakdown, not only in the United States, but in the world, including specifically the rises in the rates of divorce, illegitimacy, crime, and the entry of most developed nations, now including the United States, into demographic winter. As Ronald Reagan once said, there are simple solutions, there just aren't always easy solutions. I also noted in my earlier remarks Pope Francis's rejection of what he calls gender ideology. What exactly is gender ideology? Well, to me, ideology is not merely the philosophy of someone I happen to disagree with. Ideology, in Hannah Arendt's lapidary phrase, is a worldview that requires its adherents to create what she called a fictitious world, what Miriam Grossman the other day called a delusion, what Jennifer Roback Morris just called a series of lies. The fictitious world of gender ideology is one in which men and women are not only equal, but identical. Gender orthodoxy recognizes that men and women are equal, but complementary, not identical. I was struck in researching for my book by the pervasiveness of gender ideology when researching the work of the late great economist Gary Becker. Becker's theory, surprisingly enough, was designed to apply equally to homosexual as to heterosexual couples. As he wrote in an article with Nigel Tomes that Becker included in his book, A Treatise on the Family, Becker's theory, in his words, assumes that children are produced without mating or asexually. Each person, in effect, then mates with his own image, end of quotation. Now that's gender ideology.